So this week I did a little bit of adventuring out to a junkyard. It's a really cool junkyard. It's non-commercialized, and I've got some video clips to show you guys. It was actually it's really neat to go out there. The whole thing about it is hilarious and it's rather fun. But what's cool is with it not being commercialized and stuff, it doesn't have like jacked up rates. So I was actually able to get a good price on an axle. Axles out there for the whole rear end is 250 bucks on whatever vehicle you're pulling it out of. And they happen to have a 1980 Toyota Celica Supra. So that's the Mark I Supra. The GTS rear ends that I was gonna need for the 8.6, because right now it has the little 6.3 ring gear of the SR5. They're weak, they won't hold up to any kind of power. Plus the gear ratio is gonna make it kind of sluggish with the 16 valve in it. Obviously I'd like to make it a little more peppy and make it more like a GTS car. So priced around, looks like $1,500 for a GTS rear end. I'm like, man, I don't want to spend that much if it's not like fully rebuilt and ready to go. Like I can understand if it was like done to the nines, ready to go, I'd probably pay that, but I'm not going to pay that for a used diff that I don't know anything about. So a few months ago, I went out with Chris and his brother Travis, and we kind of pilfered around and just happened to walk past it and was like, huh. So I took a picture of it. And then a guy, Jeff, who's in Mississippi, he's a big 8.6 guru. He's like, hey man, by the way, those rear ends are almost a direct swap into 8.6s. So a little bit of investigating, and I'm gonna have to buy adjustable arms anyways for the 8.6, which T3 sells. Well, they sell literally the conversion links for the same price that I was gonna have to pay, but it goes to the Celica Supra rear end. So I will have a 7.5-inch ring gear, which is even better than the GTS ring gear, which is I think a 6.7. So going from a 6.3 to a 7.5, almost bolt in, gives me disc brakes in the rear, plus at the price that I paid, which was $250 and a little bit of effort to pull this thing out of the dirt, I'm gonna be able to rebuild it with, all brand new internals everywhere, bearings, seals, done, and have a nice disc brake rear end for the car that's upgraded. Plus it allows me, if I want to change gear ratios later, Weird Performance makes all the gear combos that I would ever need for this car. So super excited about that. So anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling and get back to it. It's the greatest junkyard experience you'll ever have. So you come out after you sign in and you get in one of these jalopies, right? And I mean, they're rough. You just throw your tools in there, you drive out, and like, this is how bad these are, but this is what they do. You just jump in these things, and you just drive out through the cows, through these pastures, to get to the car you want to pull parts off of. So we're going all the way down there because there's a Mark I Supra that I found that has an axle I need for the 8.6. And since those rear ends are so hard to find and super expensive, I'm gonna go dig one out of the dirt with the cows.
That's not hard. Have you seen our projects?
I know.
They're getting there.
This is the greatest thing in the world. Look at this.
Wish that minivan still ran.
Oh, I'd rock the minivan in a heartbeat.
It carries so many parts.
He said this thing's only got like 75,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
Is it really? Wow.
63,482.
That's great.
And then out here it'll last an eternity.
Oh yeah. No exhaust, just cows and a jalopy. This place is so cool. It's kind of neat, like, to see. Oh, there's a lot more cars too than last time. Oh, a new Privia. Hey, that wasn't here last time.
I don't know.
They had one in the backfield, unless they brought this one up. Those looks like a different one.
No, these weren't here last time.
No.
I don't remember that.
Dude, holy smokes, check it out. I wonder if it's a supercharged one.
I almost died.
Wow, check this thing out. Are the motors really up front on these things?
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were laid. Like, I thought they were a little bit more forward.
No, I don't think this is a supercharged.
No, don't look like it.
I didn't realize that the freaking e-brake's literally right there. I guess that would make sense.
That's wild. How cool. All right. Off we go.
Drive Equinox back there.
Hey, there's a new toaster. got this thing hoisted up out of the dirt, just used the floor jack and went back and forth. Found some old wheels laying around in all these old cars. It's crazy what's out here. There's modern stuff, there's old school stuff. It's just a mix of everything. There's cars that you haven't even thought about in like 20 years out here. But yeah, this old Celica Supra is still sitting here, which is the original before they split the names. But check that out. We're actually going to go ahead and pull this off. It's missing on the other side, but this one's in really good shape. So we're going to pull this and make it wall art in the shop. But this car is legit sat here, I'd say at least 30 years. This poor girl. Woo, excuse me. All the pollen and God knows what else I'm digging out. But yeah, that's crazy. Such neat cars though, man. All right, yeah, so there's the builder. This will be the donor. I'll end up completely rebuilding this thing, new brakes and everything on it, but because everything is, you know, everything is seized from it. I mean, it legit was melted into the dirt as one. So hopefully it's still usable, which I'd imagine it is, but like I'll be redoing every aspect of this, but that's my only options for being able to get a good rear end for the 8.6. So this was a little difficult. The Sawzall decided not to work. I was just going to cut all the freaking arms out of this thing. So ended up having to saw the brake lines and e-brake lines with a hacksaw blade by hand. And couldn't get that bolt out. And it took a cheater pipe and a 1/2-inch drive to get this one out. But rear end's out, and surprisingly, it's not in as bad a shape as I expected. So this should be a good candidate. Obviously, it's got crap ton of mud. I knocked it out of that side, still got it there. So now back to the shop to degrease this thing and pull it open to see how bad it is inside. Hopefully it's not too bad. And I'll rebuild it, put new bearings in it, refresh the brakes on it, paint it, and it'll be ready to go in the 8.6. So here's the nasty old rear end. So got the old SR5 seats I threw outside. I'm gonna go haul them back to the scrap pile. But as you can see, I've got quite a bit of cleaning and power washing to do. You can legit see the actual dirt line from where this thing sat. It was actually 180'd, it's upside down, but you could see where it sat in the dirt, like it's all rusted up. Like I've got some work ahead of me, but for 250 bucks for basically a buildable core, it's gonna work out great for me. So surprisingly, nothing was rusted up too bad. Hey, somebody's over there having a blast, literally. Anyways, so I'm gonna get some simple green on this thing and start cleaning it up. But yeah, super excited about this. Oh, the satisfaction of degreasing something super nasty and seeing how much better it can get. So that's the adventure of getting the rear end out of the Celica. It was a fun but messy adventure. I ended up losing a 19 mil. So I was at a point where I couldn't get the impact in, so I put a wobble joint on it and was having to face it back towards me just for clearance issues against the pinch weld. I couldn't get the impact in this way. So put that on and I was like, all right, cool, that's the right angle. Pulled the trigger. The socket came off the nut and it fell over, and at the same time of spinning the impact, it went whoop, and that was it. Like 19 mil ejecto-cetoed and was gone. So yeah, I lost a 19 mil to the Celica Supra. So that's my contribution to it for stealing the rear end out from underneath it. But I guess it's part of it. So I'll have to go buy another 19 mil. At least it wasn't a 10. I'll take that. But check this out real quick. Before I end this video, I need to show you something. I picked up a 20 valve. So yeah, this wasn't supposed to happen at all, because if you've been following this 8.6 build at all, then you know that I have a freshly machined 16 valve that I just got back from the machine shop that I bought from my friend Corey. So the idea with the 8.6 was supposed to be a 16 valve 4AGE with the Weber side drafts that I have, long tube header, and just fun. Doing a TRD head gasket. I've already got the ARP head studs, so bumping the compression up, making sure I can beat on this thing. Brand new BC valve springs, valve guides, angle job done on the valves, like everything. Decked head, decked block. Like I'm all of it. I wanted this thing to be reliable and fun. And on top of that, Driven Racing sent me a case of oil for this thing. So I've got break-in oil from Driven, assembly gel, assembly grease, like all of it. Alex hooked me up. So from the bottom of my heart, Driven Racing and all the family there, thank you guys. You guys have been nothing but massive support, not just to the community and the fans, but even to me. So thank you so much. You guys have been amazing. From the moment I met Alex back in December, it has been a really fun friendship, and he's a great dude to talk to, hang out with, and the Driven family is amazing. So thank you guys for that. And I will be using that breaking in the 16 valve. So on with the 16 valve, I'm gonna go ahead and build the motor, put it together. And the idea was actually I start on it this weekend and into this week, building the motor, which I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get it together, break it in, and have it ready to go and rip. But I might be saving it for another project car. So I still want a Starlet. I still want another old Corolla, and I wouldn't mind having, you know, another old Toyota of some sort, and the 16 valve would be a blast to have in it. But this just fell into my lap and I couldn't say no. So while I'm gonna have a 16 valve ready to go and on an engine stand, this dude is actually gonna go in the 8.6. So I'll try to do it in a short story, even though I'm not good with those. There was this listed on Marketplace I saw Wednesday, and I was like, no way. So I clicked on it thinking, it's gonna be in Florida or California or wherever you're gonna find motors like this, because you're not gonna find it in Arkansas. And clicked on it, oh look, it's 20 minutes for me. And I was like, I don't need to see this. I just spent all this money on the 16 valve. So I messaged the guy, I was like, hey, look, I know better than to be messaging, basically, is the gist of it. But curiosity, what were you swapping it into? What all does it come with? Because I'm like, man, he had it listed for $1,500 bucks. And I was like, I gotta ask, because I'm impulsive and I have ADHD and I have problems. I can't be stopped and I need to be stopped. But anyways, so long story short, he's like, hey man, I brought this thing back from Japan with me when I had a Hachi over there with a black top. Car caught on fire, ended up buying a replacement motor, sold the shell, brought this and these Buddy Clubs 15 by 8s, excuse me, these amazing Buddy Clubs in 4x114, along with these really nice SW20 seats for an 8.6. He's like, I brought all of this back. This has been several years ago. I've moved 4 times and I'm moving to Austin, Texas in a couple of days. I need it all gone. And he offered me the most incredible deal. He's like, man, I just want to see it used and someone appreciate it. And I was like, well, I can definitely do that and put it in an 8.6. So he cut me a smoking deal, and within an hour and a half, I was over there with cash, loaded everything up, stressing about my decisions, but this is going to be amazing. Like 20 valve ITBs, yeah, like the 16 valve was going to be a blast. This is going to be gnarly. So looks like I now have 2 4AGEs, one 20 valve to go in the 8.6, and then a 16 valve that'll sit pretty and wait for me to pick up another project, which will happen. Like, you know, I have compulsion problems. There's been a Starlet that's been posted south of me. They want way too much money for, but it's a rolling chassis. I'm going to wait, and if it gets to a realistic price, I could see myself buying that. Or who knows, this is the second 8.6 I found. I might find another one and purchase it. So that's the update on the 8.6. Look forward to sharing my assembly videos with using all the Driven products and building the 16 valve up over the next couple of weeks. I'll be posting about that, and I got to get the FD back outside. And so I'm going to go ahead and seal everything up, make sure it's good to go, push it outside, and get to moving on the 8.6, because the 8.6 will be this year's TogeCon car. So I want to make sure I have it running and driving and reliable and ripping for TogeCon. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off here and get back to degreasing. Talk to you guys later.